We picked up our bikes early on Christmas Eve, so we're able to get in a short ride before dinner. Over the Coronado Bridge, past the North Island Naval Air Station, that's the Top Gun school, and along the Coronado Island Bolo to Silver Strand Beach. It was warm enough for some people, not quite for us. The next day, Christmas Day, we rode from San Diego inland to Warner Springs, into the mountains through the high desert switchbacks of La Quinta, and to our hotel in Palm Springs. After a dozen miles along big freeways, we were finally climbing into the mountains on beautiful two-lane roads. Shortly after Warner Springs, we stopped at the Oak Grove campground for a picnic lunch in the warm sunshine. Then onwards to the Pines to Palms Highway along Route 74, which took us up to 5,000 feet, before taking us back down through spectacular and slightly terrifying switchbacks to near sea level at Palm Desert. We had welcome sunshine for the whole route. The plan on Boxing Day was to do a big loop through Joshua Tree National Park with a couple of diversions along the way, and return to Palm Springs for a second night. There was another 4,000-foot climb up to Pioneer Town, mostly along the scenic Highway 62. Pioneer Town is an actual town, preserved from the Old West. It has a motel, a few residences, and many shops. The Film Museum has a lot of props and posters from the many movies that have been made here. Some of them mighty weird. After 20 minutes straight like an arrow east along Highway 62, we came to the north entrance of the Joshua Tree National Park and sat in a long lineup to pay the high entrance fee, $25 US per bike. Before long, we reached Skull Rock, where we ate our picnic lunch, took a look at the skull, and went for a walk in the otherworldly rock formations of the area. Another 20 minutes winding through the desert along Pinto Basin Road took us to the Cholla Cactus Gardens. These cacti are actually dangerous, known as the jumping cactus. They so aggressively break off at the lightest touch that they seem to jump onto anyone who gets too close. Joshua Tree National Park is huge. It took another hour along the winding road to get through it, and another hour after that along the highway before we finally got back to our hotel in Palm Springs. On the third day of riding, our goal was El Centro near the Mexican border, with a lengthy diversion through Borrego Springs to make it more interesting. We loaded up the bikes and left the hotel early, taking Highway 111 towards the Salton Sea and then west into the desert along Highway 78. We stopped on the side of the road north of Borrego Springs for our picnic lunch, then wandered around in the desert looking for art. You see, there are metal sculptures randomly scattered around in the desert north of Borrego Springs. Strange-looking turtles, camels. We heard this is supposed to be a sloth. We can't agree if this is a T-Rex or a Deben or what. There are dozens of sculptures to find. This Jeep was one of my favorites. This dragon was very popular and easy to spot from the road. After Borrego Springs, we climbed and climbed along very windy, very windy, and rather terrifying sheer cliffs towards San Felipe before heading back down towards the valley along the spectacular Highway 78 and to our hotel in El Centro. The next morning was the start of our trip back to San Diego to return the bikes. We found the bike seats wet from an overnight rain, so improvised personal protective equipment. The ride took us along the El Centro farmlands, then into the desert towards the mountains we would have to cross to get back to the coast. It got bloody cold and damp in those hills, but we were hungry and stopped for lunch at 4,000 feet. Finally, we passed within spitting distance of the Mexican border through hilly pastures where cows and donkeys grazed between cottage farms and quaint bungalows. The road meandered through the twists and turns alongside pretty ravines and gulches shaded by maple trees with crisp orange and brown leaves. And we didn't film any of it because our hands were too cold to take off the gloves. You'll have to use your imagination. 5 days of riding in Southern California. What a life.